Hello, El Paso County. This is your Commissioner, David Stout, Commissioner for Precinct 2. And just as promised, we are beginning a new project this year in 2020. It's called the Sunday Conversation. And so I am here with our first victim, which is Betsy Keller, our county administrator. She is a longtime county employee and has been the administrator for a couple of years now. And so thank you very much, Betsy, for joining me and agreeing to do this with me. I just wanted to first off ask you so that people can kind of understand what your role is. You're the county administrator. There are not a lot of counties in the state of Texas that have administrators, and so it may not be something that that people have a lot of information about. And so, first off, let's talk about what your role is and what is it that you do exactly.
Sure. So I am the employee of the Commissioners Court, the governing body. I support the court by providing information and resources to them for their policy making, for their decisions, and then I oversee daily operations. I act as a conduit between the policymakers and the operations. So when the court does make a policy decision, I make sure it's implemented at an operational level, and then I make sure the court is aware of what's happening at an operational level so that they can make the best informed decisions for better outcomes. Also, I oversee the operations of 15 non-elected, non-appointed departments, and I work with the court on their strategic planning process.
Okay, thank you very much for that explanation. You have been a part of the county for, as I said, for some time, and you were a department head before. You were head of HR for many years before the administrator position was created. So you've seen how the county has operated over that span of time. Can you please compare and contrast how the county operated before administration became a separate department and how it operates now?
Sure. So back in 2008, when I started with the county, there was no clear direction from the governing body as a whole on an ongoing basis. They would make decisions on particular items, but there was no underlying strategic plan or vision, and departments operated very independently. There were a couple departments that would seem to report to a member of the court or members of the court. That wasn't official, but that's just how operations ran. And there was not as much direct accountability. As a governing body who's subject to the Open Meetings Act, it's very difficult for the Commissioners Court to quickly address performance on a timely and holistic approach. So there wasn't as much accountability, and while we did have accomplishments, it wasn't as woven into our fabric. And now it's a completely different organization. Commissioners Court sets a vision, we make sure it gets implemented. Commissioners Court adopts values, we embed those in everything we do. So what is adopted as a policy level and a vision level set by Commissioners Court is now part of operations on a regular basis.
Great. In your opinion, what are some of the most important things that El Pasoans should know about their county government and what we do?
Sure. I think it's really important that El Pasoans know that their El Paso County government is extremely committed to delivering exceptional quality of life for all. We're doing this by providing compassionate solutions to the community's needs, to their ever-changing demands. And I think it's also important that our community know that we want to hear from them. We want to hear their ideas. We want to hear their concerns. We want to hear their questions. We're here to serve them. So I think that's one of the most important elements.
In your time as county administrator, what do you feel are some of the accomplishments which you are most proud of?
There are so many accomplishments the county has to be proud of. There are internal improvements from budget refinement to professional development of our workforce being a requirement to other areas that we have internally improved our operations. But the ones I'm most proud of are the ones where we're directly impacting the community. And the list is long. There's many. We've done a lot of investments in comprehensive mobility, making sure people can get to where they need to go, improvements in infrastructure, stormwater, other investments in economic development, providing jobs and investment in our community. There has been a major reform in our justice system, making sure, and this is making sure that we are only holding individuals who are a risk to society, making sure that we're analyzing what impacts recidivism so that we aren't creating a system that just replicates itself, and then improvements in again, economic development, jobs, and healthy food financing initiatives, making sure people have access to healthy food. Legislatively, we've made improvements. The list could go on and on and on, but I'm especially proud of the ones where we're directly impacting our community.
So that said, where do you think you see the county going? Like in the next year, next couple of years, short term, as well as a little bit further down and kind of long term.
Sure. So right now, what I see us continuing to move forward on the existing goals and projects that Commissioners Court has outlined. But we're also trying to be cognizant to bring our expenses in line with our revenues, because obviously we have to be mindful of our budget and the taxpayer. While our local economy is strong, we continue to have some of the lowest property tax values in Texas. And so we have to be mindful of that. But on the other hand, I do see in the next 5 years, we have several major projects underway, and we also are in the midst of analyzing long-term needs for the community. I expect that some of those projects will come with a request for funding that would lead to major projects such as possibly a jail renovation, major infrastructure investment in this community, and some additional justice reform measures. And just basic meeting the needs of the community with the expanded growth that we're seeing, and looking at ways to also reinvest in areas that may have seen some areas that have been moved away from, that we may reinvest in, everything from infill to areas where we've made improvements but we need to continue, such as a Scarity Park area.
The direction that we're moving in, I think, is a very positive direction, and a lot of that has to do with the work that you and your staff have done, and so I really appreciate your hard work. I have one last question for you. It's probably the hardest question you're going to get asked today, and that is, just so people can get to know you a little bit better, is what do you like to do for fun when you're away from work, when you're not taking on all of these projects and doing the great work that you're doing and making us all look good?
Thank you. Actually, I love spending time with my family. I love camping. Waco Tanks is like a hidden gem in our own backyard. Sometimes I'm afraid to tell everyone that, because sometimes I've been camping out there and been the only camper there. But I love camping. I love boating, swimming, reading, trying to play the piano. The other people in my house might not like it when I try, but I enjoy it. And reading. I also love I'm a part of Sunrise Rotary Club. And we do community service projects together. It's a great group of people, really enjoy that. And I love hanging out with my dogs. I
don't know how you do it all, to tell you the truth. But you're very active in both work and outside of work. And, we're very proud to to have you as part of our team, and I really appreciate you taking the time to help me inform our constituents a little more deeply on what's going on here at the county. I think it's very important. So that's about it for this first segment. Thank you all very much for joining us and tuning in. We'll be back next month. Thank you.